Andy, you had a great analogy about the golden retriever. Tell us about how you think about these hallucinations and what we need to do to kind of calm them down to get LLMs on air.
Yeah, so when we spoke before this, I had mentioned that one of the things you have to remember about the way the LLMs are programmed is that they're effectively a puppy dog or a golden retriever. They are eager to please you. And so they are just trying to bring you the information they think you are asking for. And the way we ask questions often can lead us down a path where we are unintentionally having it feed us what we want to hear. And so it is important as part of the guardrails. And by the way, I want to step back and say I'm glad to hear everything Rafi laid out for how Sinclair is approaching AI governance, because that is absolutely the right way. It takes a broad governance board to sort of help a big organization think about how they're going to do this, not only securely, not only ethically, but then how do you also like help train the employees to use it and how to go implement it, right? This is a learning moment for everybody. And so we have to have these things in place to go help with it. But there are simple things we can do where we set rules or reminders in the LLMs that we're using in our personal lives to remind it that we always want to fact check. We want a source. And it's important to make sure that that source is there. It's important to sort of question the validity of what it's giving us at times. Part of the notion I bring when I mentioned that earlier on that I had my own agents set up. Part of those are I use sort of the IT nomenclature. I have red team and blue team agents. I have ones that are there to help me, but then I have antagonistic editors. I have literally just an editor agent that's like, tear this apart. Tell me what's wrong with it. Tell me what's derivative. Tell me what I've said 1,000 times over and over that isn't landing. And it's not there to please me. Trust me. It's there to bring up the points that hopefully a real editor would be doing as part of what I'm doing, so that I have another perspective. Because that's what we need to have in LLMs, but we're not really getting that. We're getting the perspective that it thinks we want to have back as part of it. And before I pass over the talking stick again, I do want to talk about that notion of like the moral or the gray lines between a deep fake and up-res and enhance, because I would argue that we're already in that gray territory, right? We've been using AI to enhance images. Hell, Zoom has literally like make me look slightly better version, like make the dark circles under my eyes go away and make me look a little less puffy. That's already there. That's AI. That's not,
Yep.
anything else other than that. Is that real? Do we just know it's there and we just sort of implicitly assume that like, oh, a FaceTime video might not quite be the thing
Right.
we're thinking about. It is a much larger step to go to, well, did that angle of the sports actually exist? Or
Correct.
was it something that was created whole cloth? And that is where the data that's driving it is super important. And that's where I think like what the NBA is doing around with their Hawkeye system for getting such high levels of player data in place will help them have sort of a track record that is sort of a C2PA and CIA compliant type breadcrumb trail to say this is the data that this is what actually happened by the data that we captured, regardless of whether the video was augmented or enhanced or touched at some
Yep.
point. And I think that's
Yep.
the underlying data will continue to be the important part because that's the grounding source truth that we will have for all of this work with LLMs.